Hi, I'm Megan. My channel is Best Weapons in the World. This will be my first review video. I thought about doing this video a lot, like what would I do it on, what did I want to do first, and I was thinking, and I decided to do it on Sarah Rees Brennan's Demons Lexicon series. There are 3 books. Demons Lexicon, Demons Covenant, and Demons Surrender. So, I wanted to do this book series as my first review for a very special reason. This isn't particularly one of the series that shaped me, but I have a fun story. So, the second and third books, Demons Covenant, Demons Surrender, I got those first when there was a bookstore that had to move and it had a 50% off sale and about like 40 books. So, not realizing my mistake until later, I realized that I had bought the second and third book, but I could not, for the life of me, find Demons Lexicon. So, I spent a year, and every time I bought books I would look for it, and I don't usually buy books online. I like buy them from bookstores, and it wasn't in any bookstores. So like I was looking, and finally this past Christmas came around, and I got a gift card for BarnesandNoble.com, and the first thing I bought was this book. And as soon as I got it, I read the series, and I love this series. Sarah Rees Brennan is a lovely author, and her plot twists hurt my soul. If you think Cassie Clare has some terrible plot twists, you should read these books. So, an interesting thing about this series is that each book is narrated by a different character. So book 1 is narrated by a boy named Nicholas Reeves, and he has an older brother named Alan, who is on the 3rd book cover. I don't know why he doesn't narrate that book. Anyways, so first book is told from Nick's point of view, and so Nick's mom is a magician, and Nick and his brother are constantly running away from magicians and demons. Hence why Demons Lexicon. Now, Nicholas is a grumpy little storm cloud of grumpiness. He's just an adorable little boy who can probably decapitate me with a sword very easily and probably not care. I'm going to read you the first sentence from chapter 1, or the first paragraph, because it's only like 3 sentences. So, chapter 1, Ravens in the Kitchen. The pipe under the sink was leaking again. It wouldn't have been so bad, except that Nick kept his favorite sword under the sink. So yeah, that's the first sentence from book 1. The books are in the same sort of perspective as Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments series, where it's a 3rd person, but it's only focused on one person. So, book 1, as I said, is focused on Nicholas Reeves, Nick. Book 2, which has a character named Sin on the cover, this book is narrated by a girl named May. Her and her brother Jamie are the 3rd and 4th characters you meet in this series, and this one is told again from May's perspective. And the 3rd book, which has Alan on the cover, as I mentioned before, has Sin as the narrator for this book. Overall the series is really good. I'd give it about a 4 out of 5. It has amazing plot twists, and it's very sad at some points. There was one thing I don't really like about it, which I'll talk about in a future video just on the subject, but it'd be a little bit too spoilery, because I'm trying to keep it not too many spoilers, but some spoilers. Basically, things I really liked about these books. All the characters are really well-rounded, and they're all really strong characters. And they're all really unique. I really liked how it had magic, and it was still like kind of modern at the same time. And I know it's modern fantasy, but the way they did the magic. You know, you go to this carnival festival kind of thing, and then they have like dancers and demons there, and it's very interesting. My favorite character was Nick, because he's grumpy, and the character that I have the most problem with, like, I love him, but I want to beat him with my shoe every time I see him, or like every time he appears, is Alan, because Alan is like simultaneously a really nice guy and the worst. Like, he's a great liar, but he just constantly lies. Which actually, talking about Alan, leads me to another point I liked about these books. So, as you can see, Sin is a woman of color. I believe her father is from the Caribbean, and her mother is, I want to say, Welsh. I don't 100% remember. But she also has 3 younger siblings, and she is the one who takes care of them because her mother died. Her mother died about a year before this book started. And as the books go on, Sin and the brothers have a very edgy kind of relationship. Like, they used to be friends, and then plot happened, as so often in YA novels. Also, bad communication skills. They're terrible communicators in YA novels. Really, I have yet to find YA characters who actually aren't bad at communicating. But getting back to the topic of the other reason I like this series. So, as I said, Sin is a woman of color who has to take care of her 3 younger siblings because of her mother's death, and that her parents are divorced. And, you know, she really likes to rely on herself. And then we have Alan, who, when you first see him, you first meet him, you don't think there's anything different about him, because really, he can fight like everybody else. He's very smart, he's very nice, he's a talented liar. I mean, he could confuse fairies with the way he talks. I mean, and he knows ancient languages. He's very smart. And he is also disabled. In a magician attack when he was younger, he got a burn that got infected, and now one of his legs doesn't work as well as the other, and it hurts a lot sometimes. So I find that very interesting. Alan's mother is bedridden and refuses to ever come out of her room, so it always gives them financial problems. And so Alan basically raised Nick because their father died when they were about 7. So that's kind of a thing that Sin and Alan have in common, is taking care of their younger siblings. Sin also does her best to help run the fair carnival thing that she basically lives at. Sin is basically second in command of this traveling circus carnival of magic. Sin is also the best dancer, and she took over that position from her mother when her mother died. I would say this book series is a lot about loss and being who you really are, and it's also really about what classifies someone as human and what it means to be human. Like, can demons be human too? There are 3 demons who feature prominently in this book: Anzu, Lianin, and Hanankar. I believe that's how you say it. It's a Nordic word. I don't pronounce things well. In a later video, I will actually talk about something that's very close to my moral compass that has to deal with YA novels. Not sure when I'm going to post it or when I'm going to film it, but it will be talking about paganism in YA novels, and I will go into detail about some other novels and how they show paganism in novels. Talking about that, that is the one thing that I could not, under any circumstances, I love these books, but there was the one thing that I just couldn't handle about them, is the fact that it demonizes paganism. Specifically, Hanankar, whose name I'm probably pronouncing wrong, he is actually, like, outside of this series, in our world, he is a Nordic storm god. I don't really feel really good about that. Like, it upsets me when that's done in novels. They also talk about women who, the kind of nymphs who hung out around Dionysus, the crazy dancer ladies, and how in these books they're just people who drank too much magic wine and not related to gods at all. And I don't know, I just feel really weird about how paganism is in most YA novels. I give this series, as I said before, a 4 out of 5. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 if there wasn't the demonization of paganism in these books. But other than that, they're really good, they're well written. Sarah Rees Brennan is just a lovely, amazing, beautiful lady who's hilarious. And I will hopefully be buying her second YA novel series, The Lindbergh Legacy, which, like these books, is 3 books. When the 3rd book comes out, I believe this fall. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! So, I just wanted to add, you summon the demons with dancing, and you can either speak for yourself, or you can have an amulet that lets someone else speak for you. So that's why dancing is so important in this series, and that's why Sin being the best dancer at the carnival fair thing is so important. Okay, bye for reals now!